Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Friday the 22nd of March. Nicola Willis is chopping down the idea of a money tree and defending cuts to public service agencies. Ministries have been confirming proposals to cut hundreds of jobs. MB has confirmed another voluntary redundancy scheme is underway. But the Finance and Public Service Manager says our debt has ballooned in recent years with little to show for it.
I don't think we've had the value for the borrowing that went on under the last government.
Labour leader Chris Hipkins says many New Zealanders now face the prospect of losing their jobs. He says many cutbacks aren't necessary.
The government don't have to do this. They are choosing to fund things like $900 million a year in tax cuts for landlords instead of funding public services.
The man accused of a fatal arson attack at Wellington's Loafers Lodge has pleaded not guilty in court. Azaria Howell reports.
5 people died when the Adelaide Road hostel went up in flames in May last year. Today, in the Wellington High Court, the man's lawyer entered not guilty pleas on 5 murder charges and 2 arson charges. His lawyer outlined there would be an indication of a defence of insanity.
The former minister overseeing New Zealand's spy agency says the GCSB's attitude towards compliance is different now. The Inspector General of Intelligence and Security has found the agency hosted a foreign spy operation from 2013 to 2020 without alerting ministers. The Watchdog's damning report shows the Bureau knew the foreign powers system could be used for military actions. Andrew Little told RNZ he's concerned about whether the operation met legislation, although those laws only took effect in 2017.
There is much tighter constraints in that specific requirement for intelligence agencies to act in a way that facilitates democratic oversight.
MediaWorks is advising people not to pay if hackers who breached personal data held by the media company ask them for money to delete their information. It's being suggested people with chronic migraines should have access to the disability allowance. A new study suggests almost half with the disease meet the criteria for severe disability. The survey by Otago University and the Migraine Foundation has found nearly a quarter of participants experience it at least 15 days in a month. Researcher Sue Garrett says those who miss work due to the pain should be eligible for the disability allowance.
We have people who can't work, or they can only work part-time. They spend half their life in bed, and it's a life really not worth living.
The man synonymous with cancelling the 1985 All Black tour of apartheid South Africa has died. Phil Recorden was joined by some of the biggest legal brains of the time who claimed a tour wouldn't comply with the rugby union's rule to promote, foster and develop the sport in New Zealand. Recorden and co-plaintiff lawyer Paddy Finnegan succeeded and the tour was cancelled 6 days before the All Blacks were due to depart. To further sport, the New Zealand Sail GP team has downplayed the notion of the Swiss pinching their secrets now that Nathan Outeridge has moved to the syndicate ahead of the Littleton leg starting tomorrow. Outeridge helmed for New Zealand in Sydney. Golfer Ryan Fox is tied for 141st after shooting a 5-over par 76 in the opening round at the latest PGA Tour event. That's 12 shots off the clubhouse lead. And former All Blacks coach Laurie Mains is backing incumbent Scott Robertson's bid to bring Sam Whitelock out of international retirement. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.